how to choose topics for your research. That is the topic assigned to me. Research is the most easiest thing. You need a question to do research. You need a method to do research. And you need know how it can be communicated to others. That's all. Only three things. Hope you know him. Mrit Sanjeevani was required. He plucked the mountain and went to the nearest side. The mountain carried definitely had Mrit Sanjeevani. I'm sure you know him too. With arrow aimed up, he looked down to the water and his master asked, "What you see?" He answered, "A bird." Master frowned. "What?" Then he answered, "A neck." Then master said, Within no time, the bird was on the ground. This is how you select research question. From Anjaneya's approach to Arjuna's astra. Choosing an interesting research topic is the first challenge. You know him. He is a swimmer. Do we know he also knows how to swim? But this fellow needs to be trained. Without training, he can't swim. The question is actually an innate tendency. Usually we say an answer and we'll say, my teacher says so, or the textbooks say so, or everyone practice like that. My experience says so. The internet says so. The journals say so. The Cochrane said it. But these are the questions which should be found within us. My teacher says so. So what? It can be wrong too. The textbook says so. But which edition? If you look back to the editions a decade back, the textbooks are entirely different. You may be following a cow in front, like another cow. The practice, everyone practicing doesn't matter. And everything is my experience only is not true. And the information in the net could be fake, hacked, or false. The journals also could be predator journals or sponsored findings. The Cochrane, the sanctity of the primary sources, we are not very sure. Not all studies are feasible for all. There are practical limits and problems for studying. We require adequate number of subjects, technical expertise, cost in time and money, scope, etc. But there is no shortage of research questions. Even when we succeed in answering a question, we remain surrounded by many other related questions. We find the ants everywhere. They communicate also. And it is because of this communication they can carry a big dead thing to their cave. So a lot of things we want to know, how they communicate, how they negotiate with their load far heavier than themselves. Different flowers with the different colors, different shapes. Understandable? Individual characteristics. But then same flowers with the different colors. A lot of questions around us. We know common cold. Everyone experiences it. What's it? This is like Nipah virus. This fruit eating bat. All we know. But questions. They carry questions too. Ants moving, negotiating things. How they achieve. Flowers in different colors. Common cold. Not everybody catches cold. Those who come from a bodybuilder coming from gymnasium, maybe having a common cold. But who sleeps in the court, in the hostel room always, doesn't catch it. What's happening? Nipah virus, we know. Why that didn't spread like the current COVID and kill everybody in days' time? How come this virus, which was remaining docile in a bat's throat, came out? We don't know. Questions are many around us. Established researchers, of course, look to their own previous studies for getting new questions. For a new researcher, one has to master published literature in a specific area, or have first-hand experience, or perhaps need to find a mentor. If you are a postgraduate student, yes, journal clubs, scientific meetings, careful observation of the patients, teaching, preparation, notes, etc. And imagination when let for roaming, all this will bring in new ideas. Narrow the topic to something manageable is the first step which you have to think of. If it is too broad, too much information, difficult to focus. Too narrow, difficult to gather information, difficult to understand. Background reading is required to limit correctly telescope. Moving from familiar to unfamiliar or known to unknown is the best way. And for that, first way is built-in, orderly, organized knowledge. You know what is it? Familiar. All of you are familiar. It is BOOK, book. Discuss with a friend or colleague, but beware. If very expert can deter you, because you may find the information available with you is too meager, and lots of informations are available in this world, so I should not venture. You may get like feeling like that. So expert can deter, and less knowledgeable person can confuse you also. So discussing with a friend or colleague should be selective. Once you have that team within you, expose it to these sort of questions. Who, what, where, why, how, and probably when. All these questions, the team you have has to undergo facing all these questions. Why did you choose the topic? You should have an answer for that. What interests you about it? Who are the information providers on this topic? Who might publish information about it? Who is affected by the topic? Who are the organizations or institutions interested in the topic? What are the major questions for this topic? Is there a debate about the topic? Are there a range of issues or viewpoints related to this topic? And where is the topic important? Is it at the local level, national level, or international level? Are there specific places affected by this topic? When was your topic important? Is it a current event or something of a historical importance? Do you want to compare your topic by time periods? All these you have to think at this point of time. Narrow your topic scope is next. When you search too much information, make your list more manageable. The results has to be shortened. Less but more relevant information is the key for a topic selection. Less but more relevant information. Some options for narrowing the scope. These are some of the approaches one can try. One is theoretical approach. Limit a particular approach to the topic. If your topic is mortality in COVID-19, select demographic profile of those who die from COVID-19 or comorbidity and death rates in COVID-19 or virus virulence and deaths. Or you can consider sub-areas or aspects, only one piece at a point of time. If your topic is COVID-19, select trends in its spread or safety precautions or effect on education, etc. That is sub-area selections. Or time can be specified, like clinical features of COVID after admissions in my college hospital. There could be n number of reports available in the literature. There could be several cases, several presentations in different hospitals in this country. But you specify to your hospitals. So that will limit the topic. Or the population group. Limit by age, sex, race, occupation, species or ethnic group. Like we are considering education during COVID-19 times. Let it be specifically for the UG medical education. Or it could be geographical location, can be specified to narrow down the theme. A geographical analysis can provide useful means to examine an issue. For example, the topic is medical education during COVID times. Investigate education practices in Kerala, not of the country, but geographical position in the state. The topic selection, it must be narrow and focused enough to be interesting, yet broad enough to find adequate information. The topic should be interesting to you because if you're doing a research, you're going to live with it for some time, maybe weeks, maybe months, or even years, depending on the research topic you are taking and your research interest you are going to shoulder. So you should hold interest and the topic should even excite you. Before going further, you have to ask the following questions. That will help you whether you have the possibility of having a sustained interest or not. Do you have a strong opinion on the current controversy? Or did you read or see a news story recently that has interested you? Or do you have a personal issue, problem, or interest? that you would like to know more about? Or is there an aspect in one of your classes or readings that you would like to learn more about? Brainstorming is a technique which would be useful in selecting a particular theme and reaching into a point. Brainstorming combines a relaxed, informal approach to problem solving with lateral thinking. That part is important, lateral thinking. It's described by Osborne. Osborne's method, he describes two principles which contribute to ideative efficacy. One is deferred judgment at the time of thinking and reach for quantity, forgetting about the quality. Defer any judgment and reach for quantity. There are four general rules. One is go for quantity. The maximum quantity breeds quality is the dictum. That's what Charles Darwin also said. That is how the nature experiments. Different varieties will be coming and the selection will be confined to the best. Only if different varieties, large varieties are there, the selection process will be good. So that natural principle is being used here. Go for quantity. Second is withhold any criticism. Any idea can generate a criticism against it. Keep it on hold till a critical stage when you can consider the points against it. Till that time, it has to be kept hold. This will help individual to feel free to generate unusual ideas. And that is what is required. In the research topic or methodology selections, generating unusual ideas are important. Welcome wild ideas. The unusual could be wild ideas here, but that has to encourage. Looking from a new perspectives and suspending assumptions, wild ideas will get generated. New perspective, new approach, and suspend all the assumptions. No preconceived ideas. And there is a slogan, 1 + 1 is not 2, it could be 3 or even more. When you combine, the ideas improve. So these are the 4 principles of brainstorming. Now for background information gathering, go to the textbooks, encyclopedia, search engines like Google, which will give wide range of ideas, broader concepts. It will give an overview of the topic. If you can't find an article of your interest, you can definitely request the librarian for help. Librarian is not a person who just picks a book from the rack and gives to you after getting your signature. They are trained in guiding you to the needed literature. One has to be flexible. Once you are moving from a broad theme to the narrow theme and a topic, lots of modifications of the topic can happen. Sometimes you may end up with a topic which you never thought of at the beginning, but that is acceptable. That is possible. There are a few steps to refining your topic. Broad topic to narrow topic is focus and then research question. These are few examples. The broad topic of women's health. A narrow topic would be women and depression. Further focused topic will be employment status of women and suicide. And then the research question form will be, is there a connection between employment status of women and suicide? Another example, you selected a broad topic of computer games and narrowed it down to a topic, computer game violence. And the focus finally fixed on computer game violence and children. And then the research question will be, how does violence in computer games affect children? Another example, you selected a broad topic of eating disorders. Perhaps maybe important in the time of lockdowns, sitting and eating at home. Narrow topic from it could be teens and drug abuse. Focus topic, teen peer pressure and drug abuse. Question would be, what role, if any, does peer pressure play in the development of substance abuse among them? And medical colleges in COVID illness could be one broad topic. A narrow topic would be subject learning by medical students during COVID times. Focus topic would be subject learning by online classes by medical students during COVID times. The question would be, does the online learning of medical students during COVID times affect their performance in examinations? When you gather information, the critical step is to evaluate it before you assimilate. These are the questions one should think about. Publishers, are they reputable or sponsored? Credentials of the author, are the qualifications, degrees, affiliations listed or available? Accuracy can be verified in other respected sources. Is it current? For the subject area that changes frequently, like modern medicine, you have to use most up-to-date information. Does the author or publisher express an opinion, or is the information factual, like statistics? The biases definitely affect accuracy. For example, there is one lobby in India for vitamin fortified biscuits to counter the nutrition deficiencies in the country. Any information related to this available in the literature are biased. One is biased for favoring the biscuit companies, another for favor of opposition against the biscuit companies. One has to be aware to specifically gather information from sources. And for whom the information is written for, that also is important. If something written for a general public, it's better not to take too much lessons from that for a research topic. Selected topic that might sound obvious and straightforward. That's better, at least in the beginning, because once you reach that level, a topic selection, a fine topic selection, the further processes are painless. Usually, one mistake done by most of the beginners are to jump into a specific final topic as early as possible. It's okay that you will limit the time, but that can create problems later on. Selecting the right topic is a process of elimination. That elimination round is definitely needed to have an awareness about the field, how this field, the broader field, is functioning. Rushing to final idea will save time. The time spent on selection will be useful for the rest of the process. It's best not to rush for it. Search strategy or identifying keywords are important at the time of gathering information. Based on research question or topic, identify keywords for the search. Use of a search strategy will save you time and energy. Will make it easier for someone else to understand what you researched. Will help you to remain consistent in your search from one resource to another. You have to identify the keywords, review your research question. From there, you will be able to pick up few keywords, review common terms used from an initial library or web search, or identify synonyms and words related to that topic. Record assigned subject headings that relate to keywords. So keyword selection and searching the literature with a search strategy are important. There are few of the databases: Web of Science, Scopus, Embase, Cochrane Library, PubMed Central, up to date. All these are international ones. We have our Indian also, Intimate, ICMRNAC initiative, ISID, Open Index initiative, and the coming up two prestigious initiatives of the country. One is NKN and NREN, National Knowledge Network, by which all the academic institutions of the country are getting linked for the purpose of research and education. It's an exclusive network for research and education. It's called NREN, National Research and Education Network. Now to summarize my topic today, I started with the feasibility, practical limits and problems for studying, adequate number, technical expertise, cost, time and money, scope, etc. Feasibility is one. Second, it should be interesting. Interest can come in different ways. Could be even financial support, building career, getting at the truth of the matter, or the ultimate, or exclusively for the joy of Eureka, you are doing the research. Maybe the ultimate joy from the research. And the topic has to be novel. A good research question should be novel. It's not one already established. It need not be totally original. Applicability to a different group or subjects are okay. Improved measurement techniques are okay. A confirmatory study to avoid weakness of the previous studies are also welcome. It should be relevant. A good way to decide about relevance is to imagine various outcomes that are likely to occur. As addition to scientific knowledge, influence clinical management or health policy, or guide further research. So make it final. That's what I said. Feasible, interesting, novel, relevant, ethical. E is for ethics. Only the ethical research will take place. It will happen. So any question has to be made final with all these components. That will give a research question. And there is a language to express a research question. This is called by God. P is population of interest. I is for intervention or issue of interest. C is for comparator of interest. O is for observation or outcome. T is for time frame. Population of interest, on whom you are studying. Intervention, what you are looking for, what you are doing. Comparator, against whom you are comparing. And what outcome or what observation you made on the study population. And what is the framework of the time. I quote one example for better understanding. This is a research question. To study catamaran catastrophe, what will happen on catastrophe by catamaran while you are going to the sea in catamaran? So the topic is interesting. To study catamaran catastrophe, but that doesn't convey anything. It could be catastrophe because of the type of catastrophe you are studying, in which catamarans face in the sea. Or is it the different types of catastrophe you are going to study? Is it you are going to study the types of catamarans, type of wood used in catamarans, number of persons carried in the catamaran? We don't know. Picot will clear that. The same question is translated into a research language. What is the incidence of spinal fractures among the fishermen of Chavkar while fishing in the sea on catamaran during the monsoon, before and after the ban on oil? So this is Picot language. Population is the fishermen of Chavkar. Incidence is spinal fractures. That is the incident or something which you are going to study. Comparative, here the comparative, the same people before and after the ban of oil. So fishermen before the ban, fishermen after the ban. The time frame during the monsoon. So this is the research question in its language purposes. Thank you. This is my boss. I work for him. Whenever I am in confusion, I will do what is in the best interest of my boss. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, I'm open for your
Sir, if
question.
we, yes, sir. Shall I read it out?
Yeah, I think,
So
yeah.
sir, shall I?
Okay.
Okay. So Aisha Jali has asked a question. Can we start the initial steps of doing research from home since it's not possible to collect data due to the current situation?
Could you repeat, please? I couldn't get the question.
Can we start the initial steps
Ah,
of doing research?
yeah. Okay. I could see the in the chat box now. That's right. You can think about going to the field, or rather in this question, the collecting the data from the field. You mean the hospital? In that situation, going to the field can be at any time. Before going to the field, you should be ready with all your uh, topic selections, selection of the methodologies, etc. That is number one. Number two, why you want to take only the hospital as the field? You can have your colleagues as the field and can reach them even during the COVID times through the net, no problem. But before jumping into doing, you should start with selection of a broad topic, refine it to a narrow topic, develop into focus, and write in a research question. Once that is done, go for methodologies. Once the methodology is cleared, write down as a research proposal. Only if you have a written document of a research proposal, you should start doing a research. I think I answered.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And now the second question we have:
Ah, while
access
trying
research
to
journals
access,
online.
yeah,
We
yeah,
face restrictions. Yes, sir.
in many sites, is there some sites where we can get free articles related to our topic of interest? You have to search and find. You have to search and find. Even PMC, PubMed Central, a lot of the articles are free access. Even in PubMed, some of the articles are free. Such that I would suggest start with Google Scholar, then go to Cochrane Library or PubMed, then seek your help from your librarian. Librarian will be able to help you or guide you to the sources.
Thank you, sir.
Next,
And we have
next is from Soumya Johnson. Is it possible to
yes, sir.
access our hospitals patients database from home? No. Before accessing patients database, ethical committee's permission is required. Not all hospitals have got their patient data stored in e-files, and not many of them can be accessed from home. There is an issue of privacy of the patient in this matter. Next is if we carry out a cross-section study using Google Forms or other online means, does it affect the validity of the study? No. Validity is what you measure is whether what you intended or not. If that is correct, then it's okay. The reliability can be questioned when the answers are not very true. If the respondents are not taking it very seriously to answer, the reliability of the information can be not up to the mark. Validity is what question you ask, from what intention, and it's whether it is matching with intention of your framing that question. Next is
So we have good journals where students can publish their journals, their papers.
all the journals accept papers from students also. There could be a very high standard journals with lots of indices. Some of them are not that much, but still they have their citation indexes, etc., etc. Then you can have many other journals which came up recently, which is not considered as good in standard, but accepts publications on article processing fee. All depends on the standard of your research study, and your guide will be able to help you in searching and selecting the journals which can go for publication, in which your article will get published. We have one topic which you will come across about this in detail on coming days. One full session is for that.